Hey guys, what's up? It's Luckette, and today we're going to be doing some world building. So, sometimes when I'm bored, I'll ask one of my friends to give me like a couple of words or a mix of words for me to use as a drawing prompt. And one time I asked my friend to give me a word and they said pink lemonade, and I ended up making this drawing. And while I was doodling her, I got this idea like, what would a world of like people made of glass look like? What would their world look like? How would they have to adapt to being made out of glass when they step outside in the sun and that sort of thing? So today we are going to be building that glass world. So we are starting off with a simple character design. I want to draw the male and female version of this species just so I could give myself a general idea of what I'd be starting with. So I took my initial doodle, I used it as a reference for like my idea and got to work. So I decided to make these like initial pupil water, like they had water on the inside of them, because every drink is like made of water. You can't have like any other drink without water. So I figured the first of these pupil probably would have been made of water, and like the average little of one of these beings would be full of water. So as I started designing them, I got to thinking like, what would their origin be? How did these creatures reproduce? Where did they come from? And my idea was that you know how when lightning strikes sand, it makes glass, and it can make like these really like impressive like glass structures. So lightning, like a long time ago, lightning struck the sand and formed glass on a beach, and then the tide rolled in and filled up the glass as it closed up, and it made the first one of these creatures and the first one of these beings. So that's how they came to be, and I just kind of like that as an origin story. I'm not really planning on doing anything with these characters. The idea just kind of came to me while I was doodling that like initial little sketch, which was the idea for this whole entire video. I also didn't put like, I put clothes on them, but like I normally like don't really draw my characters in things that are like very gratuitous or showy. But for these characters, I wanted you to be able to see all the different spots where there's like liquid inside of them. That's part of like the interesting key points I feel of their design, of like seeing the liquid in them. So like the guy, if you can see in his line art, I know I'm inking the girl right now, but in the guy's line art, like he's not even wearing a shirt. It's just liquid. If you look at him, it's just liquid in there, but it doesn't look like it because when I color him, the blue that like fills up that space pretty much just looks like a shirt. So it felt kind of weird to like just like leave so many spots open, but it did make it a lot easier to focus on just designing the characters and not really designing their outfits. I've noticed like when I am drawing a character and I'm not really that focused on what they're wearing, my default seems to be like gym wear. Like my characters always end up wearing like I didn't mean to make these two look super sporty, but they just do. I don't know, maybe like I mean, you like drink water when you work out, right? So maybe that, I don't know, that seems like kind of like a weird like trait to give the character. Also, I just put them in blue because like I wanted the color palette to look coherent, especially for these characters, like as I was drawing them together. The characters' outfits don't really have to be coded. They don't have to wear blue just because they're like little water people. If I was to expand and make this a real world, I would make the characters free to wear different things just so that I wouldn't have to lock myself into a specific color palette, and also so that I could make sure all the different creatures and different kinds of like liquid people could look coherent together. So if I was designing them, I would not color code it so that like water people always wore blue and like orange juice people always wore orange or something like that. I'm getting really close to being done with this one. I changed up my shading just a little bit for this one. I did as I always do, I did soft lighting. I especially like the soft lighting on the boy's jacket, and then like hard cell shading like for the shadows, and that's like one of my favorite newer coloring styles. So I'm gonna try to keep doing that more consistently because I really like the way that it looks. I think it just makes everything look really soft, and while still being like striking. So comment down below if you can even tell what I'm talking about, if you notice like the different things that I'm talking about. Here they are, and we're going to move on and design even more. So for this next one, we're going to design 4 different little creatures that live in this world, or like the different kinds. This first one obviously is milk. If you can see like her hair, I kind of made the ponytail look a bit like the handle on a jug of milk. Um, and I also tried to make her a bit thicker like a jug of milk. I didn't end up using the carton much in her design aside from the red, which you'll see in a second. Um, and also as I'm coloring, I make her skirt that dark gray color, but I end up changing it in the final just because I wanted her to look like milk, and it's not really that dark gray color in milk. I was just trying to balance the image, and I didn't want to wash out like the liquid behind her. I wanted it to be clear. After milk, I decided to do coffee. I feel like coffee would be like a very energetic character. I made her look businessy as well because it's coffee. Coffee gives you energy. And I gave her a little cigarette. You can't see it, but I'm doing finger quotes. Don't worry, she's coffee. So it's just steam coming out of like those little stirrer straws that they give you in coffee. I thought that was a nice thing to add to her design. It's just steam. Don't worry. Smoking is bad. So I wouldn't actually draw her smoking. I actually also really liked her color palette and the way that she came out. She seems like she would have like an accent, doesn't she? I don't know what accent I would give her though, but she just seems like she would have one. After coffee, we had wine. And you see, I started making wine a woman, just like by default because I normally draw girls. And I forgot I had wanted to make wine male actually. I had wanted to draw some male characters and not just default to female characters like I always do. So I changed up and I made wine male. I also clearly made him like a bit French or like French-esque. I didn't really use a proper reference or look up French fast, and I just did like what I thought looked French. And I also gave him like a bit of a mole. It's a cork, but it's supposed to be like a little like cute like beauty marker or something like that, because wine has like a cork on the top of it. I thought that like suited him very well. He looks very cute. Actually, him and Milk are like almost making little ooh faces, kind of like. Milk looked very cat-like, and so does Wine, so I don't know what that's about. But I think he's actually like one of my favorites. I don't normally draw boys like a whole lot, and you can tell I have to spend more time on him because I don't draw boys a lot. But I think he's really, really adorable. I don't really have a name for him though. Maybe I could name him after some fun sounding kind of wine. This next one is an energy drink. I made him look evil at first because I wanted him to look high energy, but I was basing them all off of these like paper cutouts basically, so I didn't know how to like up his energy. So I just tried to up it in his face. I feel like an energy drink would be like a party guy kind of. I just wanted him to look like, not like he would be at a rave with drugs, but he would like, he's a party dude. That's why I put like all these like little wristbands on him and stuff. And I think he would be like if these four were all to hang out in a group, he'd probably be like the youngest, probably like the most reckless. And I gave him like a little mustache because he looked very, what's that word when your gender is ambiguous? Dang, I can't remember it right now. Androgynous. He looked really androgynous. So I gave him a mustache so it was clear that he was a male, because I can accidentally make my guys look real feminine sometimes since I mostly really only draw girls. And here are all of them together, just a couple of inhabitants of this world. Let's move on to the last part. So this last thing that we're drawing is this concept I thought of for this world called boiling, where essentially some glass people, what they'll do is they will go outside. They won't really be wearing much, like maybe like I gave him like some darkly colored shorts to absorb more sunlight, and they'll go outside under a magnifying glass or something, and they will let themselves boil. And it's very, very risky. It's sort of like doing drugs, where like the common like thought, or like the thing that people say is like, no dude, it's fine, like all the liquid will just like condense anyways, like you'll be fine. But really, truthfully, you could accidentally evaporate all of your liquid away. So it's like it's very dangerous for like people in this world to do this. And the reason that the girl is like gasping is because like she's essentially like seeing this person like doing drugs in the middle of the park. You'll notice she's actually the pink lemonade girl that started the idea for this whole drawing, because I really want to draw her one more time. And I gave her this darkly colored umbrella because I was thinking, like, in a world of glass people, how would they, avoid the sun and that sort of thing? She has the umbrella so that she does not boil, because again, boiling is very, very dangerous. And like,
This guy is probably like a young like teenager or something. I gave him disheveled hair so he'd look kind of like a junkie, and that got me thinking like, well, wait, how could he have disheveled hair? Because like their hair is kind of just like an extension of their bodies. Um, they can't really get haircuts, you know. But I was thinking maybe like, you know, glass blowing or bending or whatever it's called. That's how they would like get their hair done. And I guess this is just a look that he decided to go for, like a disheveled kind of look. So it kind of works out that way. I think that would be like a I would, if I had time, I would do another drawing of like someone getting like their hair like blown into a certain shape. I feel like that would be another really cool facet of this world. Another thing is that if you look at my channel, you can tell that I'm much more of a character designer than a background designer. I started off with these really dark colors because I figured in a world like this, the like earth itself or the ground itself would have to be very dark to absorb all the sunlight and not harm its inhabitants. But it just simply wasn't working. Things weren't balancing out, so I brightened up the colors. It still looks like a bit MS Paint-ish to me, but I'm never gonna improve my backgrounds if I don't work on them. So I just added in the end some light on the boy so that you could tell that he was boiling and that he was magnifying the sunlight into himself. And there it is, boiling right there in the middle of the park. No shame. Ta-da! And now look at that. We have built our own little world. It's not much and it's not incredibly fleshed out, but if you guys have anything that you think I could add to this world or that I could use to expand upon it, comment down below. I know a lot of YouTubers say comment down below just to boost your analytics, and to be fair, I do want the algorithm to pick up my video, but I actually really love to hear what you guys have to say, and if I see a really interesting idea, maybe I'll make a part 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you don't follow me on my social medias, you totally should. I'm on Instagram at __Lockett, and I'm on Twitter at LockettYT. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll be looking for your comments, and until next time, lock out.